Hey, welcome back to another episode of Packers Playbook. I am Dusty. With me, as always, is 97.3 is the game. Is John Kuhn. John, John. We've got some fun stuff to talk about. We usually spend time on the offensive side of the ball because obviously that's where you played. That's where I like to spend most of the time on the ball when I kind of look at film. Today, you said we're not doing that. We're going to look at the defensive side. So let me give you an opportunity to give a little preamble here, why you kind of wanted to go this route, and then we'll start digging in.
Yeah, I mean, it's simple. The Packers struggled against Baker Mayfield and this Tampa Bay offense, and we're going to see some of the reasons why they struggled, some of the, perplexing spots that Joe Barry was put in trying to call plays for this football game. And quite frankly, the offensive side of the ball, there were some really good things to pick and choose from there. But I figured, the talk of the town right now is Joe Barry, our pass defense, and what the hell actually went wrong out there. So with no further ado, let's dive into this thing.
All right, brother, let's get it. So we're going to kick things off. This is a touchdown to Mike Evans. We're going to do it's 3rd and 6. Got 11 personnel. You got motion before the snap. You got the 3-by-1 set with a backfield offset against the trips. Mayfield with a really nice throw to Evans off a nice little move there in the end zone. John, what are we looking at, brother?
Dusty, let's get this to the very beginning of this play. I want you to watch the communication here. Look at Keyshawn Nixon and Eric Stokes. Are you taking them? Am I taking them? No, you take them. No, you take them. Okay, you got this? I got this. Up top, look at it. You got Owens up there talking to Carrington Valentine, trying to figure that out, telling the linebackers, we're good. We're good. We got this thing. What the Packers are trying to do here, it's 3rd down in the red zone, and they're running a version of Red Tampa, okay? And it's a funny way that they get to it, but they're running a version of Red Tampa, which means the deep safety right there, he's simulating what the Mike would end up at in Red Tampa. He's looking at number 3. He wants to undercut number 3. He wants to force a ball over the top to number 3 or be potentially rob that thing if he can. Stokes down here at the bottom, he's got that wide cover too. So he's got kind of a third of the field, if not 35% of the field. And he should be really a little bit deeper and a little bit more inside the numbers, but not too much, just a shade inside the numbers. And you'll see what I'm talking about there in a second. And then up top, you got Carrington Valentine, who I don't know if he's ever run this type of coverage before because he doesn't really run the coverage. And you got a couple other guys trying to figure things out on the fly. But as you can tell pre-snap here, communication-wise, it's a fire drill. We're not sure what we're doing. Now go ahead and let this run and leave those lines there and see what happens.
Okay, I took the lines off. I apologize, but we'll see what happens here.
All right, you got Stokes leaning outside. You got the safety there. He was doing the right thing. Rudy Ford was looking at number 3. There's nobody on the far side third, so that's an easy touchdown if Rudy Ford does leave for Mike Evans. So just an absolute drop of coverage here by the defense, and it's all because of communication. You could tell before the play, Keyshawn Nixon, Eric Stokes, up top, Carrington Valentine, Jonathan Owens was trying to tell him what to do. Now, not a good play. And let's see what this play is supposed to look like, though.
Yeah, so that's what I was going to cut back to. Because I assume Valentine is carrying this vertically, right? And then he takes that deep. He's supposed to cut that deep once that turns inside. Is that, or is he just supposed to take that entire second half of the field regardless? What do you think?
You'll see exactly what he's supposed to do on the next play, Dusty, because about 5 minutes later into the game, they run the coverage. They had just got chewed out on the sideline. They were just told exactly what they're supposed to do. Now you can see Stokes down at the bottom. Here you got yourself 3rd down and 4. Big play in the game. 3rd down, money down. They call the exact same coverage. Look, it's 3-by-1, just like it was 3-by-1 on the touchdown. You got your deep safety there simulating the Mike in Tampa 2. And now watch the corners here. No, it's Tampa 2, but they run it that funny way. Look, now you got the inside guy there running it back here. You got Keyshawn Nixon. You got Carrington Valentine at the top. Keyshawn and Stokes, they figured it out now. Look at Owens forcing out to the flat there to cover the running back, the check down. Look at Quay Walker pushing out for hook curl. I mean, they got this thing covered right now. They figured this thing out. This is what it was supposed to look like in the red zone.
Yeah, then you obviously get the pressure, gets the batted ball, but even if it doesn't, you even got Quay there kind of carrying that out, right, passing that off, but then looking back in. that's perhaps picked if that ball gets out, at the very least knocked down by Quay there. But that's so you think this is what basically what happened the last play. You guys didn't run that right, and they just okay, we've got this fresh in our memory now, and you've got it this time around.
Yeah, because when you go into a ball game, and you're going to see a lot when you watch this film defensively, Dusty, you're going to see a lot of Jonathan Owens down in the box simulating a linebacker. And a lot of times he's going to be away from the passing strength, which makes it very difficult. So the Packers had to come up with some coverages out of that in order to try and protect themselves. But they obviously were conscientious of Rashad Wright in the run game. That's why Owens was down in the box so often. And that's why they had to mix up different ways to show their coverages.
All right, John, anything else in this one? Do you want to hit the next one?
No, let's move to the next one because the problems with communication does not end. Here you go. You got yourself 2nd and 18. The Green Bay Packers just got a sack. 2nd and 18, pretty late in the ball game here. Pretty important down. And the Packers run quarters. A great call. I love the call. Quarters on 2nd and 18. Let's keep it in front of us. Let's make them force a check down. And let's rally around the ball, force a 3rd and 12, 3rd and 10, 3rd and 8 at the absolute worst, and give ourselves a good shot to get off the field. Unfortunately, you're going to see people trying to communicate here once again. Look, you got Devondre Campbell saying, hey, somebody's got to come over here. This is an empty set. We got 3 by 2. I need another Mike Backer to come over here with me. Quay, walk over here with me. Quay, you got hook curl. I got curl flat. And you see right now, Devondre Campbell, he can't win. He's got 2 guys. He's got 2 zones he's got to cover. He can't possibly cover the hook curl and the curl flat. He's supposed to be buzzing out with number 2 right now. And Quay Walker is supposed to be covering this little move to the outside post right here, this little skinny outside move to the post. And Quay Walker's on the wrong side of the field here. Devondre Campbell's trying to cover 2 different zones at the same time. That's an impossible job.
Yeah, it is. And he just gets absolutely cooked on that little stick nod from Godwin there, which you've got, like you said, you've got a linebacker versus Chris Godwin. And then beyond that, you also have the communication beforehand there as well. Now, I mean, this is a broad question here, John, on stuff like this, but this is something that is in my mind. That's something you get the communication ahead of time. I don't think there was any motion on this one. They came out static and they stayed static. I think, they didn't really do anything. Is this an instance? I mean, from your perspective, when you see something like this, I always have a hard time with this because this is pinned on like the players did not do well and where they were not put in that best position. As far as the recognition here, is this more in coaching or is that the players on the field in terms of what you're seeing on this?
Well, you're going to laugh at me. Devondre Campbell recognizes this, right? And there's something to this play. I don't know if Tampa hurried up out of the huddle really quickly because, quite frankly, I didn't watch the TV copy. I just watched the Herald film, and I can't remember if they came quick to the line of scrimmage. Devondre Campbell sees this. You can see Quay Walker over there communicating with Keyshawn Nixon. He doesn't even look over at Quay, or he doesn't even look over at Devondre Campbell. Campbell recognizes it. He knows what they're supposed to be lined up in. And when I say you're going to laugh at me, they can't hear each other because the Packers are on defense at home in Lambeau Field, where it's loud now at the snap of the football. So who knew that home field advantage could potentially hurt the defense? But in this case, it did.
Yeah. No, that's a really good point. You want to affect the offense, and in this case, it kind of came back to bite him. I will say, last 2 times I was at Lambeau, I don't think I sat down the entire time, so it definitely has been a change there, which is nice, although not this time around. John, anything else on this one? You want to hit the next one?
Let's go to the next one now. We've seen in zone coverage, the communication has been rough. We haven't been able to get lined up. We haven't been able to get the right keys or hear each other or really run zone for the last couple plays. So let's switch it up. Let's get aggressive. What everybody says. Let's run some man defense. And this is the Green Bay Packers running some man defense right here. Coming down, it's 3rd and 6, or no, it's second
and 7.
It's 2nd and 7, and they got themselves a little halfback choice. And this is what you're going to get when you go out there and you have a team with exceptional skill players. You start running man defense. You have to get home to the quarterback. This is one of the hardest routes in all of football to cover, the halfback choice. We saw Aaron Jones score on it the first game of the season. We highlighted that linebacker. We're going to highlight our linebacker right here. Hardest route in football to try and cover. He does everything he can. Rashad White, I must say, during the game, watching him from the sideline, Dusty, much quicker, much faster than the film actually does justice for him. He definitely has a good burst. And he puts a move right here on the halfback choice that Quay Walker is not going to forget anytime soon.
Yeah, let's hit it. That's a good point on White. I know he'd kind of like a speed, but kind of a bigger back. He's got some nice quickness. Obviously, a nice little move there. But yeah, I think he looked better. Whether it was the Packers defense or not, he's looked better. I think this year than he has in the past years in terms of that quickness. But like you said, yeah, you've got that little. I mean, you can see him right there. Got that little take outside. Quay jumps out, and you just cut that back inside of that just ocean of room inside there.
Now,
Baker hits him.
two things here also. Don't pay attention to anything that's going on up top because they're trying to play man coverage up there, but somehow there's a bust up top as well. We leave a receiver run scot-free right past us, and thank God we're in two-man because we got a safety to cover him up. Quay Walker here, second thing is he's just got to be patient. He's got to let Rachaad White break to the outside, force him to the sideline, be able to make him run sideways, force a longer throw, and have him running sideways instead of vertical so that if he does make the catch, it's a nominal gain versus a big gain in this way. And when this guy makes the inside move here, you have to contact him. You got to get your hands up and you got to make contact with him and slow him down.
Yeah, so you're talking here where he kind of Quay jumps out, right? Like he kind of so you want kind of more of a flat footed, like you don't commit until he commits type of thing here. Is that how that's covered?
Yeah, and it's the hardest thing to do because as soon as he breaks out, you want to be on his heels because that quarterback's going to hit him quick. But again, he'll be going sideways. He'll be going to the sideline. The sideline is your friend, and it's a longer throw. So that's the way you want to force him when you have this type of movement out of the backfield by the running back on his route. You like to see Quay Walker be a little bit more patient, force him to the sideline.
All right, good points, John. I want to hit anything else on this one? You got to go to the next one.
Let's move to the next one.
All right, man. We got Evans on a dig over mesh, basically from this side. I think they're kind of running under something like the Packers ran something that looked a lot like this, where you kind of shield that mesh route there. And you just keep running the over. They hit Mike Evans. John, what do you got on this one?
3rd and 6. Let's be aggressive. This is a money down. The Packers are every bit aggressive here in terms of coverage, not so much in rush. They only rushed 3 guys. Quay Walker's actually up there to play man on the running back. If he can get him to stay in, he'll hug rush if available. But the Packers got 3 rushers. They're trying to be aggressive in the coverage by running double robber. They have 3 safeties in the game. Look back there. You'll have, I believe that's Rudy Ford. He'll come down and play robber to the right. You got Anthony Johnson Jr. He'll come down and play robber to the left. They're both robbing right at the sticks. They're looking for that sucker throw out of Baker Mayfield that turns into a pick 6. As you let this thing develop, you will see that both of them get exactly where they have to be. They both rob the crossing routes that both come free. You see a little bit of a pick up top there on Keyshawn Nixon. So Anthony Johnson Jr. sitting perfectly down here. You see Carrington Valentine's on the trail. So you got up top, Rudy Ford ready to rob that route up top. And the only thing is, Baker has enough time to get through his progression and look to probably number 3 on his progression, which is Mike Evans down the middle. And with that little step up into the pocket right there, he buys himself enough time. Mike Evans wins one-on-one versus Eric Stokes. You'd like to see Jonathan Owens there a hair faster, a little bit faster, be able to maybe jar this ball loose. But this is man coverage again. This is the Packers being aggressive in a coverage call, calling man and playing up close. And this is the Packers getting beat again.
Yeah, I mean mesh is a relatively long developing. Like you said, that's the 3rd read. Like you said, I think you go vertical first and then the mesh point there, and then he would be the 3rd, and you got that big crossing route. So the fact that they cover up the mesh well, they cover up the vertical well. The fact that he's able to get to the 3 on a relatively long developing one, like you said, there's different things that you can do to play this a little better. The rush needs to get home at that point to help cover some of that stuff up, I think.
Yep.
Anything else on this one, John? Or do you want to hit the last one? A beauty of an offensive play from an offensive guy, but very something sad on the defensive side. You want to hit that one?
Let's go to the grand finale here, Dusty. How about we give this one a shot? Now, to put into context, we just had them 3rd and 12. We ran an off coverage, kind of sticks coverage on 3rd and 12. It looked like it was man. It could have potentially been quarters, but we ran an off coverage. They ran a screen. They had potentially a lineman downfield early. Nonetheless, they picked up 12 yards. On 1st down, they ran an RPO, which looked like a one-man screen. So they have run 2 screens, back-to-back plays. They have themselves sitting here, and the Green Bay Packers look like, and I watched this play for an hour. I've watched this play easily for an hour. And Dusty, I'd like to say They're in cover 3. I'd like to say they're in 3 fire zone because Quay Walker ends up blitzing, but I'm not giving benefit of the doubt to anybody here. They could be in man. They could be in 3 fire zone. They could be in just about anything right now because everybody's eyes are in the backfield. Everybody's eyes see the motion. Everybody's eyes see the simulated pump for another screen coming their way. And everybody who's supposed to block them in the screen runs right past them, including Rashad White, who ends up scoring this touchdown.
Yeah, and they're running. I mean, one of my favorite concepts to watch. They're running an absolute beauty, kind of I call it all go RB seam, where you kind of get a wall off to the inside, you stretch vertically to the outside, and you run that running back right up the seam. When it works, it's beautiful. When it works and it's against your team, it sucks. But yeah, they hit this here, get that little inside out fake orbit motion, and they just run that sucker right up the seam. All right, let's run this back then, too, because you talked about everyone's eyes in the backfield, right? Because this is one the Packers ran this exact same thing earlier in the game, maybe a little later in the game, and had to go to check down because there's just nothing there. But there's just is that Nixon? Is that on Nixon? Do you think here,
Dusty? I believe they're in 3 fire zone. Once again, I studied this for an hour, and I could not tell you if it's 3 fire zone. Look, go back to the line of scrimmage. It's 4-by-1. You have 4-by-1 right here, and you have the linebackers bossed over to the weak side, just bumped all the way over to the weak side. All the linebackers, they take an extra step with the motion. That gets Quay Walker a little bit misaligned to try and hit the hook curl. That gets Keyshawn Nixon a little bit too far inside for the curl flat. And Jonathan Owens, I mean, he has to play some sort of hook or middle hook around the hash marks. And he doesn't even think about coming inside here on this play. But everybody needs to be over here playing some sort. And Keyshawn Nixon, I mean, he went for the fake. He tried to rally on the curl flat zone. He tried to get back there to buy some time. Devondre Campbell's aborting his hook to get to his curl zone. But it's just too late. Everybody's eyes were in the backfield. They already started way too far over. They were already outflanked before the play even started.
Yeah. I was going to ask you a question, John. I think you covered it all pretty much there. Pretty much everything went wrong, and it was kind of a lot of big mess. And again, I ask you on this one here as well with the you said 4-by-1, and everyone bumps over, and you're gonna get some amount of bump generally when you get some kind of motion like that, even though he doesn't cross the quarterback by the time he starts coming back. Is this more on? Do you feel like this is more on player execution, or is that on coaching in terms of some of this stuff?
Now, again, you see Jonathan Owens down in there. You see him away from the passing strength. You saw that a lot throughout the game, and that was to help protect against the run. Was this something that they schemed them to be? Did they want them to be in a spot, in a position like that? I would tend to believe that with the running back to the passing strength in the backfield there, making it a 4-by-1, if you asked any one of those players in the classroom where they should have been, they all should have been bumped over a little bit further to the left than what they actually were. And, it's that type of communication. It's that type of detail. It's that type of mistakes that you saw over and over and over throughout this game. Is the game plan too difficult? Is Joe Barry's scheme too complex for these guys to comprehend? Is it too complicated to go out there and apply on a football field? Was there maybe too much new stuff this week, or is this all stuff that they should know now and they're still just not executing? Those are all answers that none of us will know. I can just tell you it wasn't right.
No, that's a good point, John. I think that's a good thing to end it on there in terms of, that's something I try to harp on when I look at this stuff myself. You can try to say, like, where do I think this falls? Not even just blame, but in terms of like where some of the breakdown coming down, you're not entirely sure. But unless you're on the sideline, unless you're in the huddle, unless you're in those meetings, it's impossible to know for sure 100% of the time on this stuff.
I mean, Dusty, let's be honest though. You saw a couple of man coverages there, and you saw a couple of exceptional skill players making exceptional plays to get open, catch the football, and make big-time plays for the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Do you really feel comfortable calling a lot of man coverage against that team? Not necessarily. No. But then when you watch the type of miscommunication that goes on during the zone calls, you can't feel comfortable there either. It's a tough spot for Joe Barry when you get into a ball game like that, and sometimes that snowball does not stop coming down the hill.
Yeah, and I think that's where, I mean, when you talk about the injuries, that's where a lot of that stuff comes up. I mean, I know it was even, I think 2 years ago, Barry's first year, those safeties were playing on a string, dude. Like everyone knew assignments, but now you're getting down to, I mean, you mentioned Jonathan Owens' name a bunch of times. I mean, in a perfect world, Jonathan Owens isn't playing at all this year, right? Like you've got guys there that you hope can kind of weather the storm there, and then you get these injuries, you get guys underperforming. Anthony Johnson Jr. I thought has looked good, but he's still a rookie, and so there's these. I think for a young team, especially young secondary, Valentine and Ballantyne both out there instead of guys like Jair, that does feel like there's just some youth there, and maybe a little more thinking in terms of instead of reacting on some of this maybe.
Absolutely. But hey, like the NFL always is, it's a week to week league. You got the Carolina Panthers. And if the Green Bay Packers can figure out a way to shore up their communication mistakes on the defensive side and progress a little bit more on the offensive side, hopefully we'll get a win this weekend and continue this potential playoff push that they're on this year. And boy, that would still be a pleasant surprise for all of us who I don't know if any of us really truly expected that at the start of the season.
No, 100%, 100%. John, thank you as always for joining me. You got anything else you want to get out of here?
Let's get out of here.
All right, dude. Appreciate your time. We'll catch you next week.
Later.